On the second day of the second lunar month, Lin Yueming, divorced and sent back home less than 100 days ago, was remarried. Her second husband was the emperor's favorite courtier and Marquis and Jiang Sheng. Jiang Sheng was only 23 years old, ennobled as a marquis for his humble origins and service in the emperor's rise to power, and personally granted the courtesy name Yunqi by the emperor himself. Young and renowned, with a future boundless in promise. Yet as Lin Yueming lay upon the wedding bed as a bride for the second time, her heart held no anticipation, only profound unease. A grand celebration, yet no true blessing. Far from a fitting match. For me, it was a desperate climb upward, but for Marquis N, a humiliating step down. The imperial decree brooks no defiance. Whispers say the Marquis of One harbors deep resentment toward this union, and I fear that bitterness may yet spill onto me. Last time, when he wed, it was to a match envied by all. But from that previous marriage, the greatest lesson Lin Yueming learned was never to place her hopes in another. This time, she asked for nothing more. No tender bond of husband and wife, only mercy from brutality. A mere corner to shelter in, enough to simply live on. With no one left to lean on, this time, should any misstep occur again, the Lin family would offer her no path to survival. Thus, when the Marquis of Wang returned to the bridal chamber after seeing off the guests, drinking of wine as he climbed onto the bed and touched her face, Lin Yueming closed her eyes, lying utterly still to offer him her utter submission. Submit to him, honor him, serve him as a lord, cherish him as a patron, attend him as a noble marquis. In repayment for his saving her life, granting her this fragile refuge, so long as she never mistook him for a true husband, as long as I harbor no expectations of him, perhaps our days could unfold in quiet harmony. Jiang Sheng must have drunk heavens knows how much, his breath laced with a heavy tang of liquor. The moment he drew near, enveloping Lin Yueming entirely in his overpowering presence, that aura as commanding and unyielding as the man himself, he wasted no words on Lin Yueming, no gentle overtures to kindle affection. The instant he mounted the bed, his fingers grazed her cheek. Noting her lack of resistance, he pressed his lips to the curve of her neck, one hand tracing the edge of her robe, sliding beneath the fabric, the other venturing lower in search, his touch fervent yet crudely tender. Lin Yueming fought to steady her ragged breath, clenching her fist to pierce her palm, desperate to shift the torment elsewhere. But the sting proved unbearable. A gasp escaped her unbidden, which she swiftly swallowed back.
It hurts.
Lin Yueming shook her head and glanced back. My eyes don't hurt. She withdrew her hand from his grasp. Lin Yueming opened her eyes, and just before he rose from the bed to leave, clutched the hem of his robe. I cannot anger the Marquis. I have no way back and nowhere to go. My lord suffers for it. The figure that had pulled away from her settled back down, yet said nothing. Lin Yueming dared not move a muscle, her fingers still gripping that fold of cloth, and ventured again. My lord, calm your anger. This servant will yield no more. His rigid form shifted closer once more, his scorching breath nearly upon her, enveloping her anew. He lifted her chin.
Look at me. I hurt you. Why must you apologize?
Lin Yueming followed his hand up to meet his gaze. It was the first time she had been this close enough to see Jiang Sheng's face in full. Jiang Sheng's features were strikingly handsome, his build powerfully broad, a towering martial lord, utterly unlike her previous husband. He studied her face with probing intensity, yet its depths eluded her. This servant should not have cried out, spoiling my lord's pleasure. It will not happen again. Lin Yueming thought her expression and tone humble enough, but Jiang Sheng's gaze darkened in an instant. His grip tightening, Lin Yueming could not fathom what in her words had provoked him, and instinctively shrank back, evading the hand that held her chin. Jiang Sheng stared at his hand, left hanging in the air, and demanded in a low voice.
Is this what he taught you? Not to make a sound. What are you flinching from? Do you think I'm going to hit you? He actually hit you.
Who is the he that Jiang Sheng is referring to? It is obvious. Lin Yueming does not anymore. The tone carries more of Jiang Sheng, though it betrays no joy or anger. Yet, for some reason, Lin Yueming can sense it all too well. Marquis I is furious right now. He is thinking of his new bride again, unmarried to another. After all, marrying me was never his wish. It is only right that he is angry. Tonight is still so long, and if this anger doesn't fade, all that rage will come down on me later. To live well in the Marquis's household, to find some peace, I'll have to find a way to soothe him before we sleep. Lin Yueming draws closer to him, tugs gently at his sleeve, and offers him a soft smile. There is no such thing, my lord. Calm your anger. Zhang Shen followed his movements and looked toward him, letting him tug at his sleeve, the aura of simmering anger gradually fading away. His anger's already dissipated, and I haven't even gotten started yet. So Marquis Yuan prefers to take the lead, which is quite different from the last one. Lin Yueming still couldn't quite gauge Zhang Shen's tastes. Watching his expressions closely, probing the depths of his heart, her fingers slowly trailing up along his sleeve, reaching his arm. Sensing the tension in his muscles, she paused, then said softly, "It is late into the night. Allow this concubine to serve you in retiring for the night." Her entire body rigid with tension, her gaze fixed intently on him, the veins on his neck pulsing with the slide of her fingers, even his breathing growing heavier.
When you speak to me, just say I, not this concubine. It is too distant. I don't like it.
Lin Yueming nodding and replied, "Okay." Her fingers gliding from his arm across his chest, pausing at the disc buttons of his collar. "I've noted that, my lord." The disc buttons on Zhang Shen's robe were not intricate, yet Lin Yueming fumbled twice without success. On her third attempt to undo the buttons, Lin Yueming belatedly realized it was because she was still trembling, an uncontrollable shudder racking her whole body that hadn't ceased even now, making her fingers too unsteady to manage. Zhang Shen gently pressed down on her hand as she worked the buttons, feeling the chill of her slender hand, which cooled the fire surging through his own body.
Are you so afraid of me? Were you unwilling to marry me?
Zhang Shen's frame was imposing and broad, his hands large and strong, completely enveloping Lin Yueming's hand in his grasp. Warmth steadily flowed from the calloused palm of his hand. So warm, Lin Yueming desperately wished she could stop trembling. Tonight was their wedding night. She had to keep him here. But the chill from that deep-seated fear kept surging endlessly, lingering like a relentless shadow. She could only force a fawning smile toward Zhang Shen to mask her terror. How could she possibly be unwilling to serve the Marquis? It was what she yearned for most. Zhang Shen remained unmoved by her gentle smile and placating words. He reached for the freshly laundered quilt and draped it over her, wrapping her up snugly.
You're clearly scared, shaking all over. No need to force it. We'll take it slow.
Jiang Sheng rose from the bed, retreating a few steps, so far that even his shadow seemed to detach from him. Only then did he approach the table to pour and drink tea. Showing no intention of continuing, he downed 3 cups of cold tea in quick succession. Somewhat calmed, he turned toward the door, reaching the doorway, then suddenly turned back and said,
From now on, don't speak of serving or not serving, and don't address me as Marquis. Since you've now married me, you may call me husband or by my given name. I am Jiang Sheng, Lin Yunqi. Do you still remember my name?
Husband, I've committed it to memory. Jiang Sheng cast her one last silent glance, and at last, still clad in his wedding robes, pushed open the door and departed. Lin Yueming slumped despondently onto the bed, sensing that this beginning was utterly disastrous. The wedding night, and the groom had fled in his wedding attire. By tomorrow, the entire household of the Marquis's residence would surely know that the Marquis disdained this twice-wed lady, abandoning her without consummation and making his escape, climbing high, stepping low. Such is the way everywhere. One can only imagine, in the days ahead, I'm afraid even the dignified matrons and stewards in this mansion will look down upon her, and life in the inner quarters of the Marquis's residence will be exceedingly difficult. Lin Yueming fretted deeply, racking her mind for strategies, unsure how many days' leave the Emperor had granted him for this union. Tomorrow, She must try a different tactic. Somehow, persuade him to stay the night. Lin Yuemin had risen early that day, as was her habit. But now it was the dead of night, and she could no longer endure. Anxiously pondering on one hand, while nodding off on the other, in her hazy drift toward sleep, she seemed to dream of her previous husband Lu Cheng.
This urgent errand demands traveling light to make haste. The mounts we use daily will do, and the rest can be bought once we're there.
Can I come with you?
I'm off on imperial business. How could I take family along? Besides, you're managing the household now, with all these big and small matters to tend to. How could you just walk away?
This was Lin Yuemin's final plea to him. The day after Lu Chen departed, she finally learned that his cousin had gone with him. Family couldn't be taken, but his cousin could. She had believed every word he said, only to find they were all lies. From boundless hopes to faint glimmers, until there was nothing left. The day after Lu Chen left, her mother-in-law thrust a letter of repudiation into her hands, severing their marital bond forever. In a half-dreaming, half-awake haze, someone gently wiped away a tear from the corner of his eye, and with that tear's fall came a sigh too faint to catch. At Zhang Shen's touch, Lin Yuemin stirred awake. Gazing at the near stranger before him, Zhang Shen, he instinctively clutched the quilt and sat up, uncertain if he'd mumbled anything foolish in his sleep. He shuffled forward on his knees a few steps, reaching out to grasp his hand. I thought you had left me, my husband. Zhang Shen's face remained impassive, making no mention of the murmurs from his dream. He let him cling to his hand, then covered it with his other, enveloping it completely in his warmth.
Where would I go on our wedding night? I saw you shivering, so I had them add more charcoal basins.
Whether it was the new home's hearth at work, or the general's own heat seeping through, with his hand held so firmly by Zhang Shan, Lin Yuemin cheerily began to feel the warmth return. Shall we rest now, my husband?
I just hurt you back there, and that was my fault.
I've brought the medicine. Forgive me, my husband. Lin Yuemin reached for the medicine bottle, but Zhang Shan wouldn't release his grip. Lin Yuemin glanced up at him, and Zhang Shan met his gaze. Their eyes locking in a tangled stare, Lin Yuemin caught a silent question in his eyes, his heart thudding hard. That look held no subtlety. Lin Yuemin dropped his gaze. My husband. I can handle it myself. Zhang Shan seized his retreating hand, refusing to let him pull away.
I need to see it for myself.
Otherwise, I couldn't bear to apply the medicine under his watchful eye. This felt too strange, too intimate, even laced with a hint of teasing. The dragon and phoenix candles in the bedroom burned brightly under the lamplight. He appeared utterly flawless. Perhaps a preference of the Marquis of Wang. Indulging him, lest I anger him. Lin Yuemin lowered his gaze and replied, Yes, husband. Zhang Shen coaxed him tonight, word by word, to change his form of address, yet still, he wasn't satisfied.
I am your husband, not your superior. Look at me when you speak. Don't keep your head down all the time. If you think something's good, don't hold back. Say that it is good. If you think something's not good, just tell me so.
Lin Yuemin looked up at her, nodded, and replied, Okay. He pulled the quilt over himself, thought for a moment, then slowly slipped off his undergarments beneath the covers, before curling up inside. Zhang Shen's scorching hand brushed against her icy ankle.
How are your feet this cold?
Lin Yuemin instinctively pulled her feet back, born afraid of the cold.
That is perfect. Then, you're naturally cold-natured, and I'm naturally hot-blooded. Don't pull away. It'll be quick.
Lin Yuemin was caught off guard by his sudden touch. Her entire body froze, as if struck by lightning. The cool ointment, his heated fingers, the rough calluses on his palms, the distinct sensations fleeting with each pass. Just as he said, Quick as that, Zhang Shen, as if tending to an everyday matter, casually finished applying the medicine, then tucked the quilt back over her.
A bit dazed now. I'll check it again tomorrow.
Check? Tomorrow? Lin Yuemin's teeth chattered slightly as she replied, All right. As he spoke to her, he began shedding his own clothes.
Too many coals in the brazier. It is sweltering. Can't be helped. I'm just built to run hot.
He deftly slipped off his wedding robes, baring his upper body, revealing chiseled muscles and an old scar across his waist and abdomen. Lin Yueming couldn't just sit idle. As his wife, she had to show her concern. So she ventured, "Does it still hurt?"
It is an old wound from years ago. The agony that nearly killed me faded long ago. How could it still ache?
Zhang Shang traced the scar on his waist and abdomen and assured her firmly. It hurt like hell back then. But it is not fully healed yet. Tomorrow, I'll summon the physician for a proper look to tend to my husband properly. She glanced at him, a faint smile finally warming her eyes. He drew back the bed curtains and slipped under the covers, nestling close beside him.
He murmured softly, "Summoning a physician for me on our second day of marriage. Others might think Madam is displeased with me. No."
With the bedposts lowered, a small enclosed world took shape, an intimate haven. Sharing a single freshly laundered quilt, they lay entwined, one bare-chested, one unbandaged below, separated only by that thin veil of feigned propriety, their scant fabrics brushing skin to skin, the space between them vanishing entirely. A seductive haze deepened with the Marquis of one's teasing words, unfurling like tendrils. It was my thoughtlessness." As Lin Yueming turned on her side, Zhang Shang naturally mirrored her, rolling closer in pursuit, his hand settling gently on her form, her slender nape nestling against his broad chest, his warm feet instinctively seeking out her chilled ones to warm them tenderly. He hugged him from behind, his breath warm against his ear, their closeness making him flush with heat.
What scent is that you're wearing?"
Unsure of his intentions, Lin Yueming didn't dare move, lying stiff in his arms, intoxicated by the snowbound spring scent. Zhang Sheng leaned in closer, his cheek nearly buried in the other's robe.
"The blend you made yourself is quite different from the shops."
"My husband might not like it. He said he didn't like it. I'll go change my clothes now." Zhang Sheng didn't say he liked it, nor did he say he disliked it, just chatting idly.
"You used to wear this scent all the time."
"I never used it before. I only recently learned to blend snowbound spring scent, but I'm afraid I didn't get it quite right. If my husband doesn't like it, perhaps you could take a look at the Harmony blend nearby and see if it suits your taste. What scent does my husband prefer? I'll wear whatever you like. How about that?"
"No need to change. Snowbound spring scent suits you just fine."
"If you like it, why not try it yourself?" It seems the general's robes carry no incense, so let's see if he is willing to give it a try. He said no more on the matter.
"Then we'll try it tomorrow. For tonight, let's just sleep."
When Zhang Shang said sleep, he truly meant sleep. He simply ignored the lingering desire, holding Lin Yueming close as the two, robes disheveled, huddled under the quilt and drifted into a restless night of pure slumber. Lin Yueming let his mind go blank, savoring this rare moment of quiet intimacy, yet not daring to stir, held too tightly in his embrace. Lin Yueming feared rousing him, so he carefully lifted the hand resting on his body, fumbling under the covers for the pants he took off yesterday. Just as he slips them on, Zhang Sheng stirs awake too, mumbling groggily, "Hey."
"I'm awake. I need to get up and get some water."
Seeing Lin Yueming shake his head, Zhang Sheng stretches out his arm, pulls him back into his embrace. "Then let's sleep a little longer," he murmurs. "Let's sleep a bit more." The two drift off again from the yin hour until the mao hour, sleeping straight through till the morning bell. Zhang Sheng shows no intention of rising. As Lin Yueming grows a touch anxious, "It is the second day after our wedding. We must serve tea to Madame Zhang. We can't keep the elders waiting. I still can't get up now. Is this really all right?" Zhang Sheng rouses fully, sensing his growing restlessness, sits up and says,
"Are you hungry? I'll have breakfast sent over."
"Shouldn't I go pay my respects and serve tea to Madame first?" Jiang Sheng listens, struck by some sudden thought, and actually chuckles.
"Already fussing over formalities this early. Don't make too much of a fuss. Let's just enjoy a proper meal together. I am already past 40. A little later won't matter."
"I am over 42. What a pair we make. Surely Madame Zhang doesn't wait till after 40 to rise every day. This is just too blissful." Jiang Shen summoned the maid inside, leaving the inner chamber of the bedroom for her, while he himself went to the adjoining wing to freshen up. Lin Yueming had 4 dowry maids, but only one remained in the inner chamber to attend to her, the chief maid Bai Zhi and the young maid Qing Dai.
The other 2 had gone next door to serve the Marquis.
Lin Yueming nodded to show she understood. Let them be. Don't mind them. The Lion family had sent those 2 beauties precisely for this purpose. It was only a matter of time, and he had no intention of stopping it. Once they had both finished freshening up, breakfast was laid out in the wing of Suhui Hall. Lin Yueming glanced around, not seeing the 2 Lin family beauties. Their absence meant Jiang Shen had already made arrangements for them. Lady Lin had spared no expense in selecting these 2 beauties this time, and it seemed the silver hadn't been wasted.
You sit down and join me. We'll take our meals together from now on.
Seeing her take her seat, a smile played across Jiang Shen's face. He then waved the maids out. Now alone in the wing with just the 2 of them, Jiang Shen finally spoke.
Your 2 maids are quite lovely. Are you willing to hand them over to me?
To earn such praise from their lord would be a blessing for them both. Of course, I'd be delighted for them. How could I possibly object?
Since you're so willing, they're indentures of servitude. I'll have them brought to me shortly.
This goes beyond mere fondness. It means truly cherishing and protecting them. Marquis Wu pondered the matter for the 2 of them to such a degree. After breakfast, setting aside Yueming's attendance for the moment, he first summoned Bai Zhi to open the incense censer, retrieved the indentures for those 2 beauties, and personally handed them over to Jiang Shen. Jiang Shen doesn't strike me as the type to dawdle. He immediately summoned his trusted attendant, Ping An, and handed him the indentures of servitude,
instructing him to handle the matter promptly.
Got it, my lord. The carriage and horses are all prepared. I'll see to it that everything's taken care of properly, without delaying your business in the slightest.
Even the carriage is fully loaded and ready. Even if Jiang Shen is wary of me, he wouldn't go so far as to station people outside, would he? After Ping An departed, Lin Yueming pondered for a moment, but still felt she should find the right moment to ask about it. Without such precautions against me to this extent, it shows just how deeply he mistrusts me. No matter what, she resolved to defend herself a bit after breakfast. Jiang Shen had all the maids and matrons from Suhui Hall summoned for Lin Yueming to meet. Right there in front of everyone, he handed all the indentures to Lin Yueming and told her,
These people are yours to use for now, madam. Keep the ones who prove useful. And as for those who don't measure up in their service, just dismiss them as you see fit.
Lin Yueming felt a flicker of anger, but they were all servants purchased in the capital, none hailing from his northern border retinue, so she simply agreed.
Very well.
The room full of maids bowed their heads, even lower in trepidation.
Packing up for the master. It is so dusty here. Madam, why don't you go for a stroll somewhere else with the Marquis? Best to go hand in hand, strutting back and forth 3 times right in front of everyone in the Marquis's residence, so everyone can see just how affectionate you and the Marquis are as husband and wife, putting an end to all that idle chatter, lest anyone gossip wildly about those 2 maids and upset you, madam.
Lin Yueming was divorced and sent back home, and Bai Zhi suffered greatly right alongside her. Bai Zhi was set to get married this year, but because Lin Yueming was divorced, that match fell through too. That is why Lin Yueming feels so guilty toward Bai Zhi. Seeing her so worried like this, she took her hand. Your marriage prospects were all dragged down because of me. I'm the one who let you down. If I'd known, I should have let you get married last year. Once I've established myself in the Marquis's residence, I'll definitely find you a better match.
Don't say that, madam. With the Lu family's ways, if you'd really gotten married, and then madam had left, where would your servant even have a chance to survive? Hurry and go, madam. Don't keep the Marquis waiting on account of your servant. To speak plainly, now, the Marquis is your true husband. You must cherish him, madam.
Bai Zhi's right. I need to keep Jiang Shen in my heart, or at least act like I do. Lin Yueming left the chamber to find Jiang Shen. The mammy said he'd gone back to the inner study, so she headed to the study to look for him. Jiang Shen was sitting in the study, reading. When he saw Lin Yueming come in, he set the book aside, his gaze fixed steadily on her.
Marquis had just come by with a message. My mother played a game of lazy tiles with the Duchess of Qin last night. The 2 elderly ladies were delighted. They only stopped when it grew dark. Shall we head over again at 3:45?
Lin Yueming approached Jiang Shen and tugged at his sleeve. She smiled and said, In that case, the hour is still early. We have some leisure time. What does my lord enjoy in his spare moments? I'll keep you company. Jiang Shan turned and grasped the hand that tugged his sleeve, drawing her down to sit upon his lap, then buried his face in the curve of her neck, inhaling the faint scent of her robes.
The delights of the bridal chamber. As your husband, I cherish them dearly. Will you join me, my lady?
When Jiang Shan slipped his hand beneath her garments once more, Lin Yueming no longer trembled as she had the day before. So close like this. He felt a flicker of surprise. Had she truly shared no intimacies with those two maids? How else to account for her composure now? Sensing his wandering thoughts, she leaned in through the fabric of his robe and nipped gently at his shoulder.
My lady, my hands are full. Be a dear and fetch that book for me.
Lin Yueming fidgeted restlessly under his teasing. Reaching for the book, he just sat down on the table, flipped it open for a quick peek, then slammed it shut. When he'd first walked in, she'd thought it was rare for a general like him to enjoy reading in his spare time. Little did she know, Jiang Shan wasn't reading anything proper at all. It was actually a set of Quenching the Flames illustrations. Jiang Shan noticed her snap the book shut and asked in an even tone, "The drawings aren't very good, are they?"
My lady doesn't care for them. Then, what are we to do? This husband is no master of the art, so perhaps my lady could instruct me personally.
Teach you? As if that is ever happening. What do you mean, no master? The boudoir's heated delights. I bet you know plenty of patterns already. Lin Yueming shot him a coquettish glare. Didn't your concubine teach you before this? Jiang Shan replied with utter sincerity. I have no concubine.
I've been waiting all this time for my lady to become my wife.
His tone was far too earnest. Lin Yueming felt a bit dazed. What did he mean by that? He couldn't possibly still be untouched, could he? Not at 23 years old. Besides, even with the emperor's arranged marriage, he has kept himself pure to honor that imperial grace. But what about all the years before, when passion runs deep? For that fleeting moment of bliss, one might even stake their life on the other. No need to take it all so seriously. Lin Yueming opened the book once more, forcing herself to sit up straight, and asked him, "Husband, where had you gotten to?" Jiang Shan had just nipped at her shoulder, and she hadn't shuddered. His hand had slipped inside, and she hadn't flinched. Growing bolder, he moved to kiss her earlobe.
You've gone and forgotten it all now that you're here. Why don't we start learning from the very beginning?
Lin Yueming felt a tickle deep in her heart. That tingling itch spread from her heart to every inch of her body. He silently bit his lower lip without making a sound. Night after night, flipping through the pages, Jiang Shan breathed softly into his ear,
reminding him that if the book dropped, then my lady would have to teach me herself.
Lin Yueming clutched the book's edge desperately, unable to stay seated any longer. Her breaths coming in silent gasps.
Here or here. Turns out ladies fancy this spot.
That exquisitely illustrates. Shoving Jiang Shan away with all her strength, Jiang Shan was caught off guard, his face full of shock as he glanced at his own hand.
Looking back at him, did I hurt you again?
Lin Yueming shook her head, leaning against the desk, swaying unsteadily. He tried to explain, "No, it is not." But he didn't know how to put his feelings into words. Jiang Shan lowered his gaze and waited a moment, seeing that Lin Yueming couldn't even muster a reason to placate him. Instead, she just looked at him and smiled. He was a rough man who didn't like beating around the bush and hated playing guessing games. She wouldn't say it.
So he asked her outright, Lin Yueming, are you keeping your chastity for him?
This was the first time the Marquis of One had called her by her full name. A single short sentence, carrying depth of meaning that were hard to express. Jiang Shan didn't wait for her reply before concluding. I know you're unwilling.
But you've already married me. And if you want to keep your chastity for him, that won't fly with me. We can negotiate other matters, but not this one.
Ming Yue, she tried to retort. I haven't kept my chastity for him, nor am I unwilling. I married you, my lord, of my own free will. She rose to her feet, stepping slowly toward him, her expression ambiguous, gazing intently at him, before asking softly, "Oh?"
So, this isn't because of him.
No, he is just a stranger to me now. You, my lord, or my husband. The word stranger pleased Jiang Shan. He stepped closer to her, lifting her hair to sniff it gently, his tone softening unconsciously.
As he asked, then, is it because you dislike me?
During our intimate moments, as husband and wife.
You don't want to. Lin Yueming hadn't expected Jiang Shan to ask so bluntly. But after a moment's thought, I do want to. I don't think that is quite convincing enough. Lin Yueming takes the initiative again, reaching out to hug his waist, showing her willingness. If my husband desires it, we can do it right now. I am ready.
It is not about upholding chastity, nor is it that I dislike it. She says she is willing, yet in truth, she seems reluctant. What is really going on here?
Jiang Shan is starting to feel puzzled. He rests his head on her shoulder, leaning close to whisper softly in her ear.
This is my first marriage, so I'm not quite sure. Madam, enlighten me. This playing hard to get. Is it some kind of intimate game between husband?
So, should I take it as, or should I assume it is not? Since Jiang Shan himself came up with an excuse and gave him a way out, if he didn't seize the moment to play along, it would just come off as too coy and standoffish. Lin Yueming swallowed a flush of shyness and irritation from his tangled emotions, and replied, Yeah, husband, do you like Jiang Shan? He pulled him into an even tighter embrace, rubbing his cheek teasingly against his neck.
Then, it seems I'm the one who is clueless about romance. I've already learned what handsome truly means. Madam, now teach me what winning feels like. Well, that has been going on since last night till now, and it has gone on too long. I'm starting to feel a bit restless. Help me with it.
Lin Yueming finally spotted his opening and asked, Didn't you just dismiss 2 more maids? Why not have them lend you a hand earlier? Jiang Shan seized his hiding it under his own disheveled robes.
I didn't want to upset you, so I kept it from you. Those 2 maids of yours were far from proper. They even tried to get handsy with me, so I shipped them off to your brother-in-law's estate. As for the wedding gifts he sent, these make the perfect return favor from Guizhou.
In just those few words, Lin Yueming pieced together the vague picture. You sent them straight to my sister's place. Jiang Shan drew him close against his chest, listening intently, as his breath came in rapid gasps.
I never laid a finger on them, so it was only natural to pass them along. Since they're from your mother's household, your brother-in-law and sister are bound to appreciate it.
His palms burned hot, his wrist throbbed pain. Marquis one's pants like that sound downright intoxicating. After another moment, Jiang Shan finally seemed to catch his breath and released him to sit up, take 2 steps back, half reclining on the chair, her eyes sparkling as she gazed at him, her voice low and husky. She said,
Come here.
Lin Yueming's waist ached, her hands sore. She was fretfully dabbing at the stains on her disheveled robes with a handkerchief. Hearing him say that, she jumped in alarm. No, we can't. We're both over 40. It is time to pay our morning respects to mother with tea. Her clothes and robes all tangled in a heap. She just sprawled there, letting him see the whole messy display without bothering to tidy up. She simply stared at him, like a wolf eyeing its prey, or his 2 pounds.
I came here on my own just now. That doesn't count.
How can you show up with that heroic, righteous face of yours and say such shameless things? Lin Yueming averted her gaze. That won't do. Whatever Jiang Shan wants, I won't accept it. No one else would agree.
So if you want it right here, on the table, I'm fine by me.
The voices of Bai Zhe and Mama Kui drifted in from outside, guessing Madame Zhang must be getting impatient and coming to fetch us. Lin Yueming zhuzhent Jiang Shan up, her tone laced with a hint of pleading. It is not like I'm the one pushing this. It is truly impossible right now. How about tonight? Hurry and fix your clothes. What will the maids think if they see you like this? Only then did Jiang Shan leisurely straighten his disheveled robes, and seeing him still futilely wiping at that stubborn stain, he had the nerve to throw in a snide remark.
Oh, madam, whatever shall we do if the clothes get dirty?
Lin Yueming was utterly exasperated with him. Last night she thought him an easygoing sort, but now she saw it was just the night before. We hardly know each other yet. He is just a rascal at heart. She deliberately spilled it on my skirt just now. 白纸有热机 calling for the Marquis outside.
Madam, the lady's here to escort you.
While Lin Yuemi hesitated indecisively, Jiang Shen finally had a pang of conscience and pushed open the door to the inner study for a peek. Over a dozen chests lined the wall in the inner study. Lin Yuemi opened two to inspect them. They're all new garments. He casually lifted the topmost one, held it up. It was tailored to his measures. Arms folded as he watched from the doorway.
He'll go for the one without the stripes.
They're all made for me. If you do something like that without saying a word, you're a total fool. Jiang Sheng is no fool. He didn't just mention it. He went into great detail.
To ensure everything went smoothly, he made a special trip to Jiangnan to source the finest fabrics. I hired over a dozen embroideresses, tailored precisely to your measurements, and they worked on the embroidery for months on end, not even pausing for the new year, until they finally rushed them to completion.
So how did Jiang Sheng get your measurements? Well, there is a story behind that. Last summer, the Duchess of Qin State was celebrating her birthday, and during a lull in the banquet, Lin Yueming happened upon the third lady of the Zhang family, who was the sister of Jiang Shan, with her skirt soaked through. Ever the prepared one, Lin Yueming always carried spare clothes when she went out. Seeing the third lady in a panic, Lin Yueming quickly lent her an outfit as a temporary fix. Later, as thanks, the third lady of the Jiang family sent over some clothes, but never got around to returning the borrowed set. It was just one outfit, after all, so Lin Yueming never bothered asking for it back. Brother Tang, leave the gift list to him.
I'll handle it, Mama Kui. Change into it first, then come out. I like watching you in your new gown all day long.
What about the Marquis of Wu'an? His temperament. Lin Yueming probably got a sense of that iciness too. Perhaps it was that recent incident that brought them closer, and Lin Yueming wasn't quite so afraid of him anymore. Her tone carried a hint of annoyance. I'm already wearing my new gown today, so why rush back just to return a gown to me? It is just wasting a perfectly good thing. When Lin Yueming is gentle and compliant, Jiang Sheng doesn't seem all that thrilled. But now that she is showing a bit of her spunk, Jiang Sheng is actually delighted.
That is more like it. If something doesn't sit right with you, just tell me. The worse it is, the happier I am.
Happy even after getting an earful? What kind of twisted temper is that? If I slapped you twice, would that make you happy? Of course, she couldn't actually say that, so she kept it to herself. Lin Yueming didn't argue with him outright, but softened her approach instead. Please, have a heart and buy me some time. Mama Kui, I need to change my gown. Zhang Sheng in high spirits, hummed a little tune as he closed the door. Lin Yueming and Jiang Sheng had just tarried in the study, causing them to run late. Mama Kui, ever the seasoned one, didn't utter a single word of complaint. Instead, she led them through a winding path among the flowers, taking the newlyweds on a shortcut to meet Madame Jiang. Two young ladies were waiting for them amid the floral vista. Lin Yueming recognized them both. One was Jiang Shang's younger sister, third Miss of the Zhangs. The other, the Queen's sister, fifth Miss of the Qins.
Brother Yan Qi!
Miss Qin called out to Jiang Sheng, but his eyes were fixed on Lin Yueming. Back then, Lin Yueming was young and inexperienced, unable to decipher the meaning in others' glances at a moment's notice. Now, with just one look, as their gazes intertwined, she could read it all. Miss Qin's gaze toward him brimmed with hostility. Lin Yueming pulled her hand back, quickly grasping the hand that was withdrawing and drawing it closer for a look.
Asking if his hand was sore, I'll give it a rub for you later.
Lin Yueming let her hold on, then glanced at Miss Qin again.
Why aren't the two of you with Madam, but Madam's been urging you?
Miss Qin's eyes fell on their clasped hands, wanting to roll her eyes elegantly, but it came out all wrong, her eyes just twitching awkwardly twice. Jiang Sanyang looked at Miss Qin and asked with concern, Sister, what is wrong? Are your eyes bothering you? Miss Qin huffed, glancing sideways at her. Jiang Sanyang grew even more worried. Sister Wu, why is your neck all crooked? Did you wake up with a stiff neck from that high pillow last night? Jiang Sheng chimed in, concerned.
You must be uncomfortable. Hurry and see a doctor. Why are you still wandering around everywhere?
What a pair of blockhead siblings!
Miss Qin huffed again, turned, and walked away. Sister Wu, didn't you come to see my sister-in-law? How come you're leaving already?
Now that your brother's married, he only has eyes for his own wife. Ignores us completely. We'll just dote on our wives from now on. Won't dote on you anymore, and look at you. Still grinning like a fool.
My brother's marriage means one more person to dote on me from now on. You really can't do the math. Zhang Sheng, hand in hand with Lin Yueming, walked slowly behind them, explaining to her.
Our family shares deep ties with the Qin family. The Duke of Qin was the one who recognized my talent and gave me my start. The Duchess and my mother hit it off right away. And if I were away serving the court, my mother and younger siblings would have the Qin family to look after them. Our bond runs deeper than with others. With all the back and forth between our families ahead, you should know that, my lady.
Lin Yueming smiled and picked up on it. I've heard Miss Qin's marriage hasn't been settled yet, with such a strong connection between the Qin and Zhang families. Surely the dukes considered making us in-laws through our children. Hearing her ask about the Qin family, Zhang Shen patiently explained.
One reason is that Jiang Yuan is 2 years younger than Miss Qin. It is not a good match, and besides, a union between the Jiang and Qin families just wouldn't do either.
Who said anything about Jiang Yuan? It was clearly about her.
Miss Qin's gaze hard to say if she truly doesn't get it, or if she is just playing dumb. The newlyweds, hand in hand, smiled at each other as they stepped through the grand doors of Fuan Hall.
Oh my, grinning like a total fool. But that is my silly boy.
The Duchess of Qin, seated nearby, burst into laughter.
Don't tease him like that. Who wouldn't be over the moon with a bride as sweet and thoughtful as her? Anyone would be beaming just like that.
Teased by the two old ladies, Zhang Sheng didn't mind a bit and chuckled right back.
The son bringing his new daughter-in-law to pay frequent respects to his mother and the teacher's wife.
Never mind.
Mother, please have some tea. The madam took the tea and sipped it. Setting it aside, Lin Yueming hadn't even caught on yet, when 2 gold bangles were slipped onto her wrists. Presenting such a lavish gift, Mrs. Jiang's smile held a touch of sheepishness.
Don't turn your nose up at it. I know your noble houses go in for jade and all that, but me, I wouldn't know jade if it bit me. We simple folk from the backwoods just love our gold.
Thank you, Mother. I'm just like you, Mother. Gold's my favorite too. Nothing tops the honest weight of it. Mrs. Jiang lit up at that and tugged her along to meet the Duchess of Qin.
This is your mentor's wife and your sister-in-law. We're all family now.
Lin Yueming offered tea to the Duchess of Qin as well, and accepted a gift from her in return. Miss Qin had been rather frosty toward her in the garden just now, but before the elders, she kept any sour looks to herself. The Duchess of Qin smiled and said,
Why's our girl so tongue-tied today? Time to start calling her sister-in-law, and wish your brother and his bride a century of bliss. May they soon be blessed with a noble heir.
Miss Qin opened her mouth, but sister-in-law wouldn't come out no matter how she tried, leaving the room in sudden awkward silence. Just as Lin Yueming was about to smooth things over with some polite words, the Jiang family's third miss bounded over with a bright smile, tugging at Lin Yueming's sleeve and wheedling. Sister-in-law, sister-in-law,
Where is mine? Where is mine? Don't leave me out. Sister-in-law, no playing favorites.
With the third Mrs. Timely diversion, the awkward moment for Miss Qin to address her slipped right by.
How could I possibly forget my little sister?
The third miss pocketed her gift, and a cascade of blessings poured from her lips. One sentence after another, sister-in-law just can't stop talking. Lin Yueming caught a glimpse from the corner of her eye of Miss Qin, holding her head high. That single teardrop never fell after all. After presenting gifts to the second young master of the Jiang family as well, the tea offering ceremony drew to a close. From start to finish, it had taken less than a quarter of an hour, and Madame Xing rose to take her leave. After the tea offering, Madame Ji proceeded to the ancestral hall for the worship, where she followed Jiang Sheng's lead and dutifully offered incense to the ancestors. Once the ancestor worship was complete, Jiang Sheng turned to Lin Yueming and said,
There is one thing that has put you in an awkward spot, and I must explain it to you. Our Zhang family doesn't hail from any illustrious lineage. Our forebears made their living hunting, generation after generation.
Heroes don't ask about their origins. My husband doesn't rely on ancestral glory. With his own merits he can rise to Marquis and Prime Minister. He is one of the world's rare peerless heroes, just like that old grievance tale from Henan. Besides, my husband, our Lin ancestors were farmers too, so we're a perfect match, right? Zhang Shen burst into laughter at his words.
I see. You've got some real nerve, daring to fool me right in front of the ancestors. Who do you think your grandfather Lin Gong was? Even a book illiterate general like me knows that the era's great Confucian scholar somehow turned into a farmer on your watch. The Lin and Jiang families are perfectly matched. Aren't you afraid of bringing Lin Gong back from the grave in anger?
Lin Yueming shakes her head and says earnestly, the Lin Study and Toil Hall is a scholarly family, not farming knowledge. After my grandfather resigned and retired to our hometown, he even tilled 2 acres with his own hands. Darling, if grandfather were still around, when the rice ripens, we'd head back to harvest it for him. Zhang Shan gazes at her hands, smooth as congealed jade, and her face blooming like a spring flower. It is hard to picture a proper official's daughter, out in the fields, fresh as a village lass at work. But that is exactly the sort of thing great scholar line would pull off.
At lunch, under the bright moonlit affair. This pork knuckle's not bad today. Here, Yueming, give a taste of our family cook's handiwork. See if it suits your palate.
Lin Yueming stares at the hefty knuckle, a bit dazed. Jiang Sanyang, seated across from Lin Yueming, has already chomped down gleefully. Noticing Lin Yueming hasn't touched hers, she asks, curiously, Sister-in-law, you not eating the knuckle? Lady Jiang is happily gnawing away at hers too, glancing over in surprise.
Not touching the pork knuckle. Any dietary taboo. What a shame it is. Zhang Mama's specialty pork knuckle. One of the world's rarest treats. This pork knuckle, from a freshly slaughtered pig, slow simmered over firewood for hours till it is this melt-in-your-mouth tender. And the stewed lotus root, freshly pulled from the pond to be this fragrant and sweet. Zhang Mama's getting up in years. She doesn't whip it up lightly these days. But she rose at dawn today specially to make it for you.
Jiang Shang grabs a knife with a grin.
Mother, don't make things awkward for him.
He reaches again for Lin Yueming's knife from her bowl.
Let me cut it up for you.
Whatever. If it is ugly, so be it. I've got to keep up with Shangguan's pace. Shangguan's chowing down on meat over there, so I've got to chow down too. It is on the house. See? Elbows are meant to be devoured like this to taste amazing. One bite fatty, but not greasy. Tender and chewy, so fragrant. Lin Yueming's practically tearing up from the aroma. Shangguan's big bites of meat really do make sense. Mrs. Jiang sees him eating with such relish, so she picks a piece of lotus root for him.
Bet you've never had lotus root like this. Give it a try. Powdery and sweet.
Grabs his chopsticks and takes a huge bite. So sweet. Even the silky fibers lingering between my teeth are sweet. For this lotus root, Lin Yueming decides, from now on, with zombies taking concubines and sharing chambers, I'll absolutely not impose any rules on them. I'll make sure they eat, drink, and sleep well, so I won't feel bad for them.
Try this bamboo shoot. Grown right here in our state. Back in the North Frontier, we didn't have bamboo. If Mama Zhang hadn't told us, we wouldn't even know it was edible.
Lin Yueming takes a bite, tender and crisp, without a hint of bamboo's bitterness. She decides, among the estate's mamas, she has gotta be the first to befriend this Mama Zhang. 3 dishes in a row. Whatever Mrs. Jiang eats, Lin Yueming 看什么? Mrs. Jiang serves it to her. Even Zhang Shan finds it odd.
Hey, those two have pretty similar tastes.
Lin Yueming doesn't dare look anymore, or else Mrs. Jiang will clear the whole table. Mrs. Jiang sees Lin Yueming eating with such relish. I'm happy too, deep down, smiling as she teases.
Yo, that is us hitting it off, with tastes so alike. Yueming, do you play leaf cards too?
A little. Then he starts to feel like the mood at the table's gone all heavy. Lin Yueming pivots fast, backpedaling with, I know a bit of chess, tuhu, stuff like that, but leaf cards, never touch them. Madame Jiang's face falls in disappointment.
What a shame. I don't know the first thing about chess or any of that.
Madame Jiang turns to Jiang Shen.
This afternoon,
Jiang Shen says calmly,
We've got to prep those gifts for tomorrow's trip back home.
Can't cut corners on this one.
Mrs. Jiang glanced at Zhang Yuan again.
The homework young Master Erlang assigned hasn't been done yet, so the son has to excuse himself first.
Homework comes first, and it can't be put off.
Mrs. Jiang had no choice but to turn to Zhang Sanyang. Before Mrs. Jiang could even open her mouth, Zhang Sanyang had already leaped to her feet and bolted away. Mother, I just remembered. I have something to attend to. Before she could finish her sentence, she was already dashing out the door, afraid that if she slowed down even a bit, her own mother would drag her back to play leaf cards.
Once children grow up, they're out from under their mother's wing.
Mrs. Jiang felt utterly dejected. Zhang Shan took his leave too, and Lin Yueming excused himself, walking all the way to the garden, with no one ahead or behind. Only then did Lin Yueming let a smile curve his lips. But Jiang Shang suddenly stopped and gazed intently at him, then broke into a smile himself.
You should smile more often.
Lin Yueming was taken aback, wondering why Jiang Shang would say such a thing, as if he could read Lin Yueming's thoughts. Jiang Shan's right finger traced the curve of his smiling lips.
Isn't that? Smile just for me.
As he spoke, his lips parted and closed. Jiang Shan felt as though his fingertips had been gently nipped, the lingering sensation on them soft, moist, and scorching hot. I wonder if every inch of his body feels this soft to the touch. Lewd thoughts tumbled relentlessly through his mind. Impossible to rein in, finally coalescing into two words: little peck. The fingers that had been tracing his lips now slid down to his chin. As he leaned in close, Lin Yueming sensed it immediately, and quickly dodged away. A luan kiss meant for his lips instead grazed a corner of his mouth, landing softly on his temple. Lin Yueming was nearly scared to death by Jiang Shan, retreating 2 steps in a row.
Rejected once more.
Jiang Shan stayed perfectly calm and asked softly,
Still no?
The Marquis of Wuan showed an unusual persistence and passion for this, perhaps because he'd yet to succeed, finding it so novel that it lingered in his thoughts. Lin Yueming stepped forward. He reached for Jiang Shan's hand, coaxing him gently with soothing words. Not out here. How about tonight? Then, shifting the subject, do you have any plans this afternoon?
I'll take you to meet a few people. Come on. I'll take you to the study in the front courtyard.
Lin Yueming gazed at Jiang Yunqi. Will you ever punish me in the future for crossing that hanging flower gate? Jiang Yunqi didn't quite catch her meaning.
Punish you? For something like that? Am I out of my mind? It is just a door after all. Since you've married me, the whole mansion is my home. And now it is yours too. Anywhere I can go, you can follow.
Lin Yueming studied his face, knowing his words came straight from the heart. Her eyes crinkled into a gentle smile. Jiang Yunqi, I'm so happy. It was the first time she'd called him by his full name, not Marquis, nor husband, but simply Jiang Yunqi, just saying his name so plainly. Yet it held such tender affection. If it were anywhere else, it might have stirred even deeper heartache.
It is so hot. I'm even more tempted to kiss you. But he said no. It feels even hotter now.
Since she was so overjoyed, Jiang Yunqi held back that rising heat and broke into a wide, silly grin.
That is just how it should be. If you're willing to call me by name, it makes me even happier.
Seeing him grin like that, Lin Yueming couldn't help thinking of what Madame Zhang had said, that he smiled like a fool, and she hadn't been wrong at all. All the way to the front courtyard study, the two of them were filled with joy, until they stepped inside. Lin Yueming's tears suddenly spilled down her cheeks.
Eldest Miss.
The only one in the world who still called her Eldest Miss instead of Madam was one person alone, her mother's loyal dowry servant, her cherished wet nurse, Nanny. Lin Yueming slipped her hand from Jiang Yunqi's and rushed forward. Propriety began. I've been searching for you everywhere. You're still alive. That is truly wonderful. Nurse Mo, it is I who let you down.
The young lady is safe now, young lady.
Nurse Tian glanced toward the door. Just now, when the young lady had rushed in crying, the Marquis of Wuan had tactfully stepped away. He'd left the space for them to reminisce. And now, with no outsiders present.
My lady, please hear me out. It was the Marquis of Wuan who bought them in Dongyu.
Yet our emperor only granted the marriage in the 12th lunar month. The Marquis of Wuan was the one who bought them in Dongyu, back when it was Dongyu. He and the Marquis of Wuan were still total strangers, so why would he foresee their plight and rush to rescue her stranded dowry entourage? Mama, did the Marquis of Wuan say anything to you?
My lady, the Marquis of Wuan asked me for your dowry list, the very dowry list, from when you married into the Lu family, after sending off Mama Tian and her family.
Lin Yueming found Jiang Sheng in the backyard of the study. Jiang Sheng was practicing his spear forms, a plum blossom spear slicing through the lingering chill of early spring, gliding like a coiling dragon through the backyard. Lost in her thoughts, Lin Yueming didn't call out to him. A single woman bearing such immense wealth, the whole world would turn covetous eyes upon her, including her own father, and perhaps even her present husband, Jiang Sheng. Are you after this fortune too? He spotted Lin Yueming's arrival. Jiang Sheng halted his movements and walked over with a smile.
Back so soon. I thought you'd invite your wet nurse to stay for dinner.
Lin Yueming said nothing about the dowry list, but smiled with her usual gentle composure. Mama Tian was never one to sit idle. With nothing to occupy her here, forcing her to stay would only make her uncomfortable. Jiang Sheng lowered his head, gazing at her tenderly. Lin Yueming assumed he had a private word for her and leaned in a little closer, looking at him with a puzzled gaze. Jiang Sheng remained silent. The two of them standing side by side, so close she could make out her own reflection in his handsome, gentle eyes. Lin Yueming realized too late that he simply wanted her to wipe the sweat from his brow. He hurriedly pulled out a handkerchief to wipe the thin sheen of sweat from his forehead, shoulders, and temples, thanking him warmly. Nanny is truly fortunate that the Hao Mansion acquired her just in time to think she was brought into the Hao Mansion so perfectly. Thank you, my husband. Otherwise, she might have ended up somewhere far away, and I fear I'd never see her again in this lifetime.
Didn't Nanny tell you? This wasn't mere luck. I sent men out especially to find her, all to track down your wet nurse. I scoured 7 or 8 places myself. Even when the official ships had already set sail, I had them all intercepted and turned back. For it, the censor hounded me with impeachment for half a month, and the emperor docked me 3 months' salary to boot.
Lin Yueming has noticed over the past couple of days that Jiang Shen is a very straightforward man. But each time, his bluntness surpasses anything Lin Yueming could have imagined. He doesn't even bother hiding it, not caring one bit if it makes Lin Yueming suspicious. I'm truly grateful for those 3 months' salary of yours, so how about I make it up to you? Jiang Shen's throat bobbed slightly, his gaze shifting from Lin Yueming's eyes to his slightly parted lips, his voice low and husky as he spoke.
I'm not short on silver, so why would you need to compensate me? But if you really want to thank me, then you should thank me in other ways.
The look in his eyes was unmistakably impure. Lin Yueming tried to pull back the handkerchief, but Jiang Shen held it in place, guiding his hand deeper inside. Beneath the soft fabric, against Jiang Shen's rapidly pounding chest, Jiang Shen had mentioned earlier that he had no personal maid. And now, Lin Yueming was starting to believe him.
The clothes underneath are soaked too, so help me wipe them down a bit more.
The borrowed clothes are drenched, so perhaps my husband should bathe and change. And since we talked about trying that fragrance yesterday, after you've bathed and changed, I can apply it for you. How does that sound? Jiang Shen had no interest in trying the fragrance. His mind fixated on trying something else entirely. But he glanced up at the sky, the sun hanging high, leaving no room for distractions.
Why must the sun set so slowly today? It is utterly infuriating. Not outdoors, and not in broad daylight. Couldn't this grand scholar Lin just write about something else? Self-cultivation, family harmony, governing the state, pacifying the realm. Isn't that plenty for him to fill his pages? No, he has to meddle in the intimate affairs of ordinary couples, making it all the more detestable.
The young Jiang Shen's reluctant, frustrated expression was all too plain to see. Is it really that small? Lin Yueming glanced around. Neither Baizhi nor Jin, he is in the backyard, with just her and Jiang Shen there, no one to see them. This doesn't really count as out in the open. Lin Yueming stepped closer, tiptoeing and clinging to his arm. Her lips brushed lightly against Jiang Shen's frustrated cheek. Just as she started to pull back, Jiang Shen reached out, wrapped his arm around her waist, and leaned in for a kiss. His posture fierce and aggressive, hell-bent on claiming it, but hampered by his inexperience. He beat a hasty retreat, Jiang Shen's lips and teeth colliding hard against her chin. Jiang Shen panicked. No longer dwelling on those tangled thoughts, he hastily cupped her face to check it over.
I'm sorry. Let me take a look.
Lin Yueming's chin is all red from the bump, with tears still lingering in his eyes from the pain. Jiang Shang sees him go quiet, and panics even more.
Does it hurt a lot? I'll call a doctor to check you out.
It is just a little bump. You'll be fine after catching your breath. No need for a doctor. Lin Yueming gazes at Jiang Shanggong, all flustered like he is facing a dire foe, and suddenly feels like bursting into laughter. Seeing him smile, Jiang Shen lets out a sigh of relief, snaps back to reality, but feels utterly defeated, unsure how to face him now.
Of the 36 stratagems,
Retreat is the best. Time to slip away. Run first and figure it out later.
Jiang Shan awkwardly releases his hold.
I'll go bathe and change first. We'll sample the incense later. Yeah.
Not enough. Not nearly enough.
Weren't you off to bathe and change? You don't get to escape that easily.
What are you dodging for? No running off. I'll say when it is time to stop. And that is when you stop.
Husband, time for your bath and change of clothes. Shall I attend to you? Jiang Shan shivers as he blows that soft breath, a tingle shooting through half his body. Jiang Shan freezes like he's under an immobilizing spell, stops his nonsense and just rests his head on his shoulder, panting.
Yeah.
As long as it is given willingly by him, he wants every bit of it.